Hi beautiful, it's Kate, and today's video is going to be about my experience getting my first tattoo and also losing a pet. And I know usually those have no correlation, but for me it does, because when my dog passed away, who had lived for a long 13 years, was my best friend and the greatest animal in the world, he passed away. And it was really hard, and I had already planned to get a tattoo of his paw print. It was an idea I had and I knew I wanted it, so a month or two before, I had dipped his hand or his paw into an ink pad that was non-toxic. I found the tattoo artist I wanted to go to because I knew I wanted to get a tattoo at a place called Electric City in Scranton, Pennsylvania, because my mom and my sister had both gone there to get tattoos. When I was little, I always went with like my mom, my sister, or their friends, and I was never old enough, and I was like, oh my god, I want to go here, and I'm moving 10 hours away soon, so I was like, I really want my first tattoo to be in or around my hometown and a place where my family has gone. I forgot some paperwork that I needed to go to my appointment. I rescheduled it for April 13th. Colin was scheduled, that's my dog's name, sorry I didn't introduce him. Colin was scheduled to be put down on Thursday because he was 13, he could barely get up, he was struggling to walk, he was falling a lot. It was old age, it wasn't anything that we could have done. Living to 13 was incredible, but it was crazy because I didn't want him to go to the vet because I knew the vet would stress him out. I didn't want him to have his last minutes be stressed out and hectic and crazy in some place he didn't want to be. At like 4 in the morning on Tuesday night, I laid with him and I cuddled him on the floor for hours and I cried. It took me a long time to say because I had never wanted to say it. I should have been saying it the past month, but I was just really scared to lose him, and I think he was holding on for me. He's been there since I was 4 years old. I can't remember my life without him. He's always been there to protect me and comfort me, so I had to lay down next to him and protect him and comfort him and tell him what he needed to hear, and I needed to tell him that it was okay that he went, whether it be today or right now or tomorrow. I'm like, whatever you choose to do, like, you're gonna be okay, I'm gonna be okay, like, we're going to be all right, and no matter what, like, I love you, and a bunch of other sappy crazy stuff. But overall, to sum it up, I just said that I'm gonna be okay. The next morning I woke up, that's why I woke up, because I heard him struggling. I went to go help him and he just fell down. He's done that before where he's struggled and just then laid down because he was just exhausted. So I sat down next to him again and I just pet him and talked to him, and if you want to get up, try and get up and I'll help you. And then he didn't want to get up, so I was like, okay. So I went and laid in bed, and he was right in between, like, he was right in the middle of my doorway, like halfway out of my room and halfway into my living room. It was obvious he was trying to get up to leave because a lot of dogs don't want their owners to see them pass away. So I think that was him trying to leave, but he just couldn't. Out of nowhere, I just heard his head like fall down to the floor, and it was just like a thump noise that like I still can't get out of my head. And I thought that was just him falling asleep. Like, I had no idea. I had literally no clue that when that happened, that's when he passed away. I thought, because he had done that before, he just lays down and then his head's up and then he's like, okay, I'm tired, I'm going to bed, and like puts his head down and goes to sleep. I thought that's all it was, and then I stood up a few minutes later and went and asked him if he wanted to go out, and he was just laying there, and it was obvious that he was gone. It was really scary, and I was home alone and I had no idea. I thought we were going to the vet the next day. Like, it took me like a month just to accept the fact that he was going to the vet. Like, I denied it every single day, and then I finally accept that he's going and that's how it's gonna happen. And then that's not how it happened. I was scared and terrified. I had no idea what to do, and I gave him a kiss and I covered him up. My mom came home early from work and comforted me, and Carl came home from school and they took him to be cremated. That was the day my tattoo was scheduled, which was, I thought, was nuts. Like, he passed away around 12:30 and I had a tattoo appointment for like 6 or 6:30, and it was just crazy that that happened the same exact day. I decided it was a sign. I still was gonna go and I was gonna do it for him, and he stayed as long as he could with me, and he had always been with me, and I decided that I wanted to still go that night even though I was a wreck. You're supposed to have like a lot of rest and eat a lot of food and be in a good state of mind when you get a tattoo. And I was, because I was happy that he didn't go to the vet. I was happy that he went when he felt he was ready to go, and I'm happy it was with me. So I was like relieved that that's how it happened, and it wasn't painful. He didn't shake. Nothing happened dramatically when I watched him pass away practically. I was a little on the edge though. I didn't eat a lot of food. You're supposed to eat like full breakfast, full lunch, full dinner, and a lot of water, and I was just like not interested in eating. I was not in a good place, but I had sobbed and sobbed and sobbed, and I realized I want to go, and I went. I went with my mom and Carl and my friend Alyssa, who does my hair. It was a good experience, and I wanted to tell you guys about it. That was the story of losing my dog. This is the story of getting my tattoo. So we walked in, and I showed him the print. We already had an appointment, so me and him already talked about where I was getting it, how big it was going to be, and we went back, and he put it on my leg, the outline of it. We discussed that we wanted it to look like a real paw print, and this was his exact size paw print. There's no other paw print like this. This isn't just like a cute little like 3 circles and then the big middle, like no, it's not like regular everyday paw print that you would just see. And this was his, and so we wanted it to have a lot of detail, and we didn't want it to look like a big black blob on my thigh, and so there was a lot of shading. I keep saying we as if like I was a part of doing my tattoo. Like I was holding the needle. It looks really realistic. There might be some things that I will touch up later on in like a month or two, but I know it's terrifying getting your you're getting your first tattoo, and I was really scared, especially after what just happened. Like my nerves were shot, and my stomach hurt, and I was just like terrified. I was like, because people make this out to be like you're gonna die. It's excruciating. It's gonna feel like 1,000 bee stings. It's just like you're getting stabbed 1 billion times. It's so painful. It's just like, it's nothing what people describe it as, and like everyone has different experiences and different pain tolerances, and I am the biggest baby ever. When I got my nose pierced, obviously your eyes water just because of the pressure, but I was crying because it hurt and I was a baby. And I cried everything. I cried movies, I cried TV shows, and that day I already had cried 1,000 buckets because I lost my best friend. So I cry over everything, and I did not cry getting my tattoo, and it only took like 20-25 minutes, and it's like a nice size. It's like a little bit bigger than my palm, and it was on my thigh. So because it was an area that on a scale from 1 to 10 usually is not like a 10, like a lot of people say your feet hurt and your ribs hurt, your thigh usually is not that bad. So I laid down in the chair on my side, and I just wore a dress that I could pull up and shorts that I could pull down, and like black underwear and black shorts and black dress, so that the ink when he was rubbing it off wouldn't stain any of my clothes. The pain for me, a 7, it's not unbearable. I have no pain tolerance. Like when people pinch me, I get genuinely mad, and when people punch me, when a punch buggy goes by, like I get angry because like I'm really sensitive. I bruise easily like a peach, and I just hate it. I hate when people do that, and like I have such terrible pain tolerance. Being completely honest, it was like a weird sensation, like a shooting pain. It's so hard to explain, especially because normally when I do videos, I have like little notes of like what I think I want to say. And this, I've had no notes. I've sat down and just told you the story and telling you this, so I haven't really thought of any good adjectives. It doesn't feel like a bunch of little needles going over and over again, which what a tattoo is. It feels like one giant, not giant, but like one bigger needle instead of a bunch of little ones like poking, and it feels like it's hitting your nerve. You know, if you're a girl and you get a cramp, it feels like it's not just on the outer layer, it feels like it goes in, like it feels like it's shooting throughout your whole stomach area, but it's not unbearable. And the thing that I hated the most was the noise, which I didn't think was gonna bother me because I've been there when my sister got tattoos. I've seen other people get tattoos. The noise has never irritated me. But when I was laying there, I literally just covered my ears and like made ugly, embarrassing faces, and there was like a video of me, and I'll show it to you, but whatever. Everyone says like, oh, after a while, then it gets numb. Your tattoo, your leg, like the area will get, wherever you're getting it, will get numb because of like the sensation. You'll eventually get numb. I did not get numb. The end still hurt just as bad as the beginning hurt. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. It was the same feeling the whole entire time. There was like certain spots, because I got his name written out as well from one of my childhood writing. Like when I would write about him when I was little in school. I took that and I copied it. But I didn't even know where he started. I had no idea what he was, because a lot of people tell me when they get like words and stuff, they can feel what their tattoo artist is doing. Like they can feel exactly what letter they were doing. I had no idea. When he started, I thought he just started on the paw. I had looked back and asked my mom and saw videos and stuff and saw that he started on the name. I didn't feel like it was letters. I didn't feel like this part was more painful. Maybe a little section where I was like, oh, that hurts a little bit more, but it really was not bad at all. If I can do it, you can do it. And now that he's not here with me, I feel like at least he's still like by my side literally, and I can touch my tattoo and I can say goodnight like how I always would say goodnight to him, and I miss him like crazy. The pain of my tattoo was nothing compared to losing my best friend. Absolutely no comparison. Like the tattoo was nothing. And especially because it is that pain and then it's over. Like for the rest of the night, it burned a little bit, like sunburn, and that was it, and I just couldn't sleep on that side. Like, yeah, there'd be some sting, like the first time or second time I washed it, but nothing crazy. The pain of losing him, it will last me forever, and it's horrible, and I still feel like I'm lost without him. The healing process went really well. It took me about a week to start like peeling and drying out and stuff, and I had washed it like 3 times a day for like a few days, and I did everything that he told me to do, and I was really surprised that it took as long as it did to start peeling. I thought it started peeling like 2 days later, but for me it took like 5 days. I didn't wear jeans for a while, but I hate jeans, so it was a perfect excuse for me to wear dresses and leggings because jeans suck. I wanted to tell you something funny though. When he started, he didn't tell me he was starting. I think that I was just supposed to assume because the noise was on that it was happening. But the noise of the tattoo gun started, and I was like, is this what it feels like? Because he hadn't started touching me, he just turned it on. And he didn't tell me when he actually started to touch me. So I was like, oh my god, I'm like laying there, I'm like, this is cool as hell. Like, I don't even feel this. Like, I just heard the noise and I thought he already started. So when he actually put the needle in, I screamed so loud, and I like pulled away, and he was like, you can't do that. I was like, okay, I know I can't do that, I'm sorry, but like I'm literally, it's just a shooting pain, and that's all I can describe it as. I don't think I would ever get a tattoo that was like 3 hours long or that took like a gajillion sessions. Like, I respect people that do that, and I have a lot of tattoo ideas, but a lot of mine wouldn't take longer than an hour, because I don't think I can handle it for longer than an hour. Even an hour is pushing it. But 20 minutes, 30 minutes was not bad. I think if I had to stay there for any longer, I was getting hand cramps. I was like starting to be irritable. So I was happy that at the time length that it took. Woody from Electric City did an incredible job, and I respect him completely for doing what he does, and it looks amazing. I'm sorry for screaming and pulling away. He told me that I scared the bad word out of him, because and like there's other tattoo artists like right in the next cubicle thing, and they're like, Woody, was that you? And he's like, yeah, that was me. And it was really funny, and I was laughing. Yeah, I thought I was like, I'm handling this like a boss. Like, I heard the noise, I'm like, it's happening, I'm good, it doesn't even hurt. Like, why are people such babies? And I was like, holy crappy-oly, that's in there. And I was scared and I screamed, and I wish someone got that on video, but they didn't, because, you know, blame my mom, Carl, and Alyssa. There's 3 people there, 2 out of the 3 have cell phones. You're gonna have a pickle to pick with them, not me. And if you're losing a pet, it sucks and it hurts, and your life feels like there's something missing all the time now. Like, when I come home, he's not there, and like when I would pull up my car and park, or when I was leaving, I could look at the window and Colin was staring at me, and I kissed him every single day goodbye and gave him hugs, and every single day when I came home, I gave him hugs and kisses. Like, being without him is weird and hard, and it's crazy, and I like when I see pictures of him, like, I still cry, and I love having the tattoo because it makes me feel connected to him. I'm not saying, oh, you lost your pet, go get your tattoo, because a tattoo is forever. It's a huge deal, huge commitment. But the only reason I had specifically gotten his was because I don't remember my life without him. I was 4 when I got him. My neighbor literally had puppies, and she gave him away too soon. Like, he wasn't 8 weeks old. He wasn't supposed to be away from his mom. And she literally just walked up to my house. Our family dog had just passed away like a few weeks before. She came up to our door and knew that. So she knocked and she's like, do you want this dog? And he was a little teeny puppy. And he's like a mix of like an Australian Shepherd, Rottweiler, like both of his parents Both of his parents were mixes, so he's just like one unique, incredible dog, and I will never have another dog like him. I will never have a relationship with a dog like I had with him. Like, he was my protector, and he always took care of me, and he watched me grow up, and she literally just gave him to us, and my mom was like, okay, like, we just lost our other dog, Corey, so okay. And then I woke up and there was a dog there, and he ran up to me, and because he had lost his mom too early, or like he was away from his mom too early, he got very attached to me, and my whole life he was there, and he was there when my parents got divorced, when I went through my first heartbreak, when I was extremely depressed. Like, I don't know what I am without him. Nothing will ever replace him. I can get a million dogs and nothing will ever replace him. I will get another dog. I will do things like that, but nothing will ever have the relationship that me and him shared, because it was so unique and so special. Losing a pet is ridiculously hard, and I'm here for you if you want to talk about it. You're allowed to grieve, and you're allowed to handle things the way that you want to handle things, whether it is getting a new animal. You are not replacing your animal. Animals can help you go through the process of grieving, and they can help you move on and like just be happier. So there's no shame if you choose that route. There's no shame if you never want to get a dog or animal again. I'm sure your animal would love if you gave another animal love like them. I'm sure that they would not be jealous. They would not be mad at you for having another animal. I think that they would be happy to see someone else is with you, and someone else is taking care of you and by your side and making you smile, and you are giving them a good home too. So don't feel like you can never get another animal again. It sucks so bad, and I wish that animals can live forever. A lot of people live to be like 60 or 70, and it kills me that dogs and cats and all this other stuff, like, they can't live with us throughout our whole lives, and some of them only live to be 9, 13, 15. Like, it sucks that we have limited time with them, but I want you guys to go and kiss your pets and give them hugs and tell them you love them. And I had so many moments with Colin where I slept on the floor with him and just cried holding him, and I just let him know that he was loved 1,001 times. I cherished him every moment of his life. When I went on vacation, I had never been without him for more than like 2 weeks. I had my friends FaceTime him when they came over and fed the dogs and like let them out. Like, I needed to see him at all times. Like, he was the love of my life, my best friend, my greatest treasure, and nothing will ever hold my heart the way that he does, because he was my baby, and he was my baby, but he somehow always took care of me. He always knew when I was sad. He would lay next to my bed and know that I was in a bad place, and he's just like the one constant thing I've had my whole entire life. Like, practically every day of my life he's been there that I can remember. And I'm sorry if you have to go through this. I wish that none of you ever had to experience the pain that I had to experience when I lost him. I'm sorry this is probably a long video, and I'm sorry if I didn't do a really great job explaining my tattoo. I'm probably forgetting things, but the point of it is tattoos are forever. Pick a tattoo that you are going to cherish and love for the rest of your life. Make them meaningful. Like, that's something on your body that you want to look at every day, then make it a good choice. And this is something I look at every single day, and I think of him. I'm happy I have it. I really, really am. And I'm not saying you have to have it. You might think I'm stupid for getting it. You might think in 20 years I'll hate it. Like, why did I get that? It was just a dog. He was more than just a dog to me, and no one may ever understand how I feel towards him and how I feel without him and how this helps me. And that's fine, because it's not your body and it's not your feelings, so it's okay if you don't like it. I love Colin. I miss him, and I miss his face, and I miss just like everything about him. I like things that pissed me off, when he would like push his food bowl around and make annoying noises all night long, and he would bark, and I'm like, oh my god, so annoying. And like, I would kill to hear him barking again. I would do anything to have him back. But he's not struggling anymore. He was 13 and he was old, and he couldn't get up, and he didn't run, and he didn't smile. He wasn't happy. He wasn't the happy dog that he always was. I think he listened to me when I told him that he could go, and dogs sense how you feel, and dogs know a lot more than I think we think they know. And if you're going through this, I'm here, and I'm sorry, and I love you, and I hope that you have a good day and night and life, and go give your pets a hug and a kiss for me, because you can never love your animals too much, ever, ever, ever. I will see you soon. Bye!